Oh, talking about this, I've been to a few stores, and sometimes you can actually open up a refrigerator. It's like a walk-in refrigerator, and there's all like the beers and stuff, all nicely chilled. That was cool. Literally. Greetings and welcome back to another reaction video. And in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to another Laurence Brown from Lost in the Pond. And it's called 5 Ways British and American Grocery Stores Are Very Different. Just the title of this would be pronounced different in the UK. We don't tend to use the word grocery or grocery store. We'll probably say shop or supermarket or something like that, as opposed to grocery store. As always, links in the description for Laurence and his channel. Lovely guy. Check him out. Go support him. Links in the description. Guys, if you would like to support the channel, please do so by looking at our merch shop. And if you'd like to appear on any of my social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our YouTube community tab, just take a picture of yourself wearing the merch and I'll put it on all my social media platforms and shout you out. So that's enough of my jibber jabber. Let's get straight into it.
So next time you're in the other country, why not play a game of, oh look, it's that thing we have back home, but they call it something wildly different. Isn't this fun? Hello, I'm Laurence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to grocery stores, or should I say supermarkets, because that's what we call them in the UK.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I've been doing this channel now for about nearly 5 years, and I don't think I've really ever touched on the major differences between grocery stores and supermarkets. That is probably because the nauseating experience of walking around said stores is second only to malls. I'll be honest with you, we get our shopping delivered. Haven't had to walk into a grocery store in about 3 years. But I did do some research, so it's fine. And so without further ado, let's take a look at 5 big ways that British and American grocery stores / supermarkets are so very, very different.
Layout.
Yes, layout. As you can probably imagine, the layout of American grocery stores tends to be slightly different to that of Britain, but that makes sense. I mean, the United States itself is laid out quite differently to Britain. I don't just mean it's a different shape, I mean it incorporates different shapes. I did a video on this. Basically, America is obsessed with rectangles. Anyway, that's not connected to today's video. I think this difference might have changed a little bit in recent years. For instance, it's a common practice in both countries now to put the fresh veg right near the entrance section to give this illusion of health as you walk in, and then you walk over to the chocolate and everything. But other than that, as you're walking around the stores in both countries, you will see the odd difference, sometimes very odd difference. So for instance, in some British grocery stores / supermarkets, you might find the eggs not in the dairy section. What's that all about?
Wait, eggs isn't dairy. Eggs is poultry. Am I being a bit silly?
Since I've moved to America, that seems to make sense, right? It's with the cheese, it's with the milk, the whipped cream, and sort of genre-wise, that does make sense. But sometimes you will find things like eggs just, hanging around with the beans in England, and not refrigerated either. That's a shocking thing for a lot of them.
Oh, and the eggs are different colours as well. I think your eggs are quite white. Not all of them, but the eggs I've seen, the shells are white. Ours are sort of a sandy sort of colour, browny sort of sandy colour.
Americans when they see that. The wine section might be found in a different spot to where you'd find it in US grocery stores.
Oh, talking about this, I've been to a few stores, and sometimes you can actually open up a refrigerator. It's like a walk-in refrigerator, and there's all like the beers and stuff, all nicely chilled. That was cool. Literally.
Across both countries, though, it's always going to differ, especially depending on the actual store itself. So keep an eye out for that. And kind of connected to layout is our next entry. I've said it before and I'll say it again, size is not everything, though you probably wouldn't believe that if you saw the difference between UK supermarkets and American grocery stores. I used to think as a kid that whenever my mum would drag me around Asda, which is one of our major supermarkets, that particular supermarket was absolutely huge. And then I moved to America and I was equally dragged around Walmart. And in recent years, the comparison between the two has become quite apt, and that is because Walmart owns Asda. But the fact remains that Asda, most of them anyway, are not located within their own zip code, postcode. Whereas Walmart, it might as well have its own zip code. They're absolutely huge. They're so large, in fact, that just walking around the perimeter is enough for your weekly exercise. Which I suppose is good considering all of the calories that you're about to buy. And because Walmart, and to a lesser extent Kroger, are absolutely massive, that means you have the following.
Variety.
In the United Kingdom, nationwide, you've got the likes of Sainsbury's, Tesco, Morrison's, Asda. So we have choice in that regard, but once you get inside the stores, we probably don't have quite as much to offer as the United States, who, for instance, provide you with about 27 varieties of Coca-Cola. I haven't tried them all. In fact, I've barely tried any of them, but the rule seems to be that the brighter the packaging, the more varieties there'll be, and also the brighter the packaging, the least healthy it'll be. So to reiterate, American aisles have more variety than British aisles. That was a joke, wordplay. British Isles, you got it. Walmart has such variety, you can even buy auto parts. They're usually at the back of the store, which is not the best place between you and me, because what if you're buying a big hefty tyre? How are you going to get that out? You could roll it, that's true. In fact, that sounds amazing. I might do that next time I'm in Walmart. I've just remembered I'm never going back in a Walmart, so we're good. And I don't drive. And speaking of purchases, once you get to the till/cash register, there's another chief difference between our two countries.
Is it the tax on the prices? Yes.
I have to admit, this one got me long before I moved to the United States. When I was visiting the state of Maine in 2004, I walked into a music shop, as you do. I much prefer music shops to supermarkets anyway. And I purchased a ukulele. I think I talked about this very recently. And in doing so, of course, I looked at the price, $15, which is cheap. I mean, don't ever do that again. It was good while it lasted, but it didn't last very long. So I took it to the counter expecting to pay exactly that in three $5 bills, only to be told, you know, $17.32. I mean, I'm making that number up in hindsight. I didn't really get where that additional $2 came from. And it turns out that sales tax is applied at the point of sale, whereas in the United Kingdom, what you see on the price tag in the aisle itself is exactly what you'll pay for that item, so there's no surprises when you get to the till. I should say that, you know, I think in England, even when I'd go grocery shopping, I didn't calculate in my head each item as I went along, so I never really had a great idea about what that total was going to be anyway. It's usually when you're just purchasing single items this problem first arises. But anybody that's visiting America from the UK who usually doesn't give a second thought to VAT, you will have to give thought to sales tax, which is kind of the equivalent here of VAT. And like I said, that sales tax is not applied to the whole store before you even go in. You'll see it applied to your receipt after the fact. It's not a huge deal. I got used to it, you know, after a couple of years. And one thing I'm still getting used to, though, is our final entry.
Brands.
Yes, brand differences.
Okay, so I'm probably guessing things like Walker's. We have Walker's crisps or potato chips. You have Lay's. I'm trying to think what else there is. I'm sure it's going to come to me in a minute. But yeah, I'm sure Laurence is going to talk about it. But yeah, first one that sort of jumps out is Lay's and Walker's.
And I'm not talking about, you know, this particular brand that you simply can't get an equivalent of in the UK. No, I'm talking about the exact same object, or typically food item, that has the same font and everything and look about it, but a completely different name. Take, for instance, Axe.
Lynx. We call it Lynx over here.
There's Lynx, they're deodorants, don't eat them. I'm not suggesting these are all food items, but if you are a 14-year-old boy, you know what Axe deodorant is, or Lynx. They are exactly the same thing. They both have an X in it, much like an inordinate amount of brand differences, actually. You got TJ Maxx versus...
was it TJ Maxx? TK Maxx. Yeah, TK Maxx in the UK.
TK Maxx. You've got ExxonMobil.
ExxonMobil. Just Esso, isn't it? Yeah.
Versus Esso. You've got Dove versus Galaxy.
Dove versus Galaxy. See, we've got a washing detergent called Dove. I'm sure it's Dove. Yeah, Galaxy.
Alexa, what are they going to change your name to? I don't have Alexa. That was just a joke. But if you're from the US and you go over to the UK and you're walking around the shopping aisles and you're looking out for crisps/potato chips and you see one that looks a little bit like Lay's, you know, Lay's, the American crisp company.
Walker's.
It'll be called Walker's, but it has the exact same font. Everything else about it is the same, except for some of the flavors. Bear that in mind.
Yeah.
And some of the chocolate. See,
I've been really, really lucky. Some of the subscribers have sent me parcels and I've had Lay's, different flavors. I mean, flavors that I've never, ever heard of or tasted. And some of them were really, really nice.
Seems to live in an entirely different universe. Literally, in some cases, like I said before, the British Galaxy bar is...
See, I couldn't get used to that Dove. I'm sure I've heard of it called Dove before, but yeah, that would throw me.
Is Dove in America. Milky Way.
Wow, Milky Way. Because you have Milky Way as well, don't you? But it's a different type. Three Musketeers. I've not had Three Musketeers, but I presume it's the same as a Milky Way.
Is Three Musketeers.
Wow.
And Mars.
That's just confusing now. I've not had a Milky Way in America, or a Mars bar, as it were. That's interesting.
Is Milky Way. It's all one star cluster of monumental differences. And of course, there are absolutely...
I don't know why do they do that? I mean, I don't really understand it. You kind of want you want your brands to be uniform kind of thing, I would have thought. I mean, it's whoever came out with the product first. I don't know. I'm not sure. Obviously some kind of business reason to it, but anyway.
Loads. So next time you're in the other country, why not play a game of, oh look, it's that thing we have back home, but they call it something wildly different. Isn't this fun? You know, you might get bored after a while, but send me your pictures. It will be amazing. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below some of the observations you've made over the differences between a British supermarket and an American grocery store.
Guys, an absolute brilliant and cracking video by the one, the only, the YouTube sensation. That is Laurence Brown from Lost on the Pond. Another absolute classic. Love his videos. Oh yeah, I just find it so fascinating. I didn't know about the Milky Way and the Mars bar. I've never had a Milky Way in America, but it's a Mars bar for me. They're nice. Mars a day helps you work, rest, and play. Yeah, brilliant. Have you guys had these chocolate or candies? Let me know in the comments below. And have you been over to the UK and tried them? And were they the same as what you've had in the US? If that even makes sense. I don't know about you, but I'm bloody hungry now. And while we're talking about nice bit of candy, I'm going to try one of these Reese's. It's a peanut butter miniature from Lola Campbell from Texas. Sent me these, and yeah, they're called Reese's over here, same as you guys call them. It's just lovely. It's so soft. My favourite candy, Reese's peanut butter cups. Bloody lovely. Guys, if you would like to support the channel even more, we do have a Patreon page. Click the link in the pinned comments for all the fun pack perks and exclusive material. Come and join the family. Here's a list of all our current patrons. You guys are absolute legends. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you everyone who's still watching and hasn't turned off. Please don't forget to drop a like, 'cause it really helps us out. And all that leaves me to say, Mr. H, you guys are my friends. Is take care. God bless. See you on the next video.